As Elon Musk's #1 fan, with over 4,000 videos now on this channel and 2 books already produced, I'm already totally impressed with his ability to do miracles, even if they're done late. Now, I'm going to deal with one of those miracles in just about 30 seconds. But first, I want to let you know or ask you the question, does it matter to you what happens in the midterms? Are you following the political situation right now very, very closely? I've been a political junkie for 60 years since Barry Goldwater. Yeah, I'm actually that old, but I was a teenager working the precincts for Barry Goldwater even back then. Well, starting tomorrow, I'm doing a daily 15 minutes on the political hot topics of the day and how they'll impact the elections. This will be only for Patreon members, X subscribers, and YouTube members. Nobody that you gotta be part of one of those three in order to see these videos. So sign up right now. You can pause the video and go do that and sign up. And you don't want to miss tomorrow's first episode. Starts tomorrow. All right. Now, as a Tesla fan and a stockholder, the new lithium refinery in Texas represents to me, it's a major, major step in vertical integration. I think it's underreported and underappreciated. It helps with supply chain resilience, sustainable growth, and helps out the neighborhood, if you will. So here are some of the most important aspects of the launch and what it's going to do for Tesla and for the world. Number one, it's an operational milestone. The refinery is now fully operational. It has started only 19 months ago is when they broke ground. It's just another one of those unimaginable things with Elon that he put together a refinery of all things in 19 months, something I'm guessing he knew nothing about when he started. This will accelerate Tesla's battery supply and demonstrate their ability to execute. So, they're making the 4680s. This will provide them with raw materials for the 4680s. They're using a completely new process. He said this was true. He said it would save money. He said it would be better for the environment. And in fact, it is a groundbreaking acid-free refining method that converts the raw spodumene ore directly into battery-grade lithium hydroxide. And so it doesn't need as many steps. It eliminates hazardous sodium sulfate waste, which most refineries have tons and tons of this waste, and it'll lower long-term costs while setting a new industry standard. Other people may decide that they're going to go for this in the future. In fact, the output instead of sulfur waste is actually soda ash, which is used in many, many different places in industry, but should be able to be sold as a secondary benefit. Now, how about the environmental impact? The process is cleaner than conventional methods, produces a useful byproduct, as I just mentioned. It turns out that soda ash is used in things like making concrete, and it reduces overall emissions by a lot and uses less water. And so that fits with all of the things that Tesla likes to do in terms of sustainability. The capacity is enough lithium for over 500,000 electric vehicles annually, directly feeding Tesla's gigafactories and supports up a scaled up EV and energy storage production. So you've got 500,000 electric vehicles annually. That's absolutely amazing. What about supply chain independence? Well, you see, up until now, 60% of global lithium refining comes out of China. And so you have the issue of China being able to turn that off, or China being able to raise the price, or all the kind of stuff, because we have all these, geopolitical risks associated with China. So this is the first refinery of this type in all of North America. And it takes advantage of some of the lithium mines that are down in Chile, which is the second largest or maybe the largest producer of lithium in the world. Then you got cost reductions. Well, by streamlining the refining process and localizing that production down there, it cuts transportation and intermediary expenses, in addition to the profit of the refineries. It improves Tesla's margins on batteries and vehicles over time. Well, it'll increase them starting from day one. So what are we talking about? Well, we'll get to that number in just a second. This is you've got job creation and economic impact for the neighborhood. It's located near Corpus Christi. It brings high-tech jobs to the region. It boosts the local economy, and it qualifies for all kinds of incentives from the Inflation Reduction Act and other things. But it's really a big benefit to Texas and to the community down there in Corpus Christi. Obviously, you get vertical integration, something Elon is doing more and more and more of. Now, again, I've said this over and over again. I wrote a paper, what is it, 30 years ago or something, wrote an article for Inc. magazine on going from virtual to vertical, which is what Elon has done also. He was buying every single part, every single car part used to be purchased. Now, I don't know what percentage, but a huge percentage of the car is now produced by Tesla. Now, when I was doing this, and Elon has said exactly the same thing, he only did it when he had to. Now, what does had to mean? Well, sometimes the had to is quality. You can't get the quality that you need from somebody else. You can't get what it is, what you actually need or want or prefer, even from existing factories or people that are out there that should, want to get your business. They just can't do it, or they won't do it, whatever it is. And so you have to do it if you want the quality. Number two is making sure you have it on time. Again, you might have a great supplier, but the supplier is late sometimes. And you can't have suppliers being late. And it just seems like no matter how much you buy, no matter how much you put in inventory, the supplier is still late. And of course, you don't want to stick it in your own inventory. You want it just in time. So anyway, that would be a secondary reason. A third reason would be that you think you can save money. So in other words, you believe that you can make it cheaper than they can make it. Well, usually you can, but then the question becomes, is it really worth it? Because sometimes the cheap part, the saving a few dollars isn't really worth it in terms of your time and other kinds of investments. But that's another way to look at it. How much am I going to save? Well, so in the lithium factory case, you'll see. So this is potentially going to disrupt the market because it positions Tesla to challenge global lithium bottlenecks. It increases their share in the EV market because it is going to cost them less. And if there's any kind of a problem getting lithium, refined lithium, Tesla's going to be completely the only one in town that's got it. Now, there's been some talk about potential for a expansion down there, but Tesla has not made any official statements. Elon has not made any even hints. So this kind of talk, there's no real communication from the company with regard to expanding it, but maybe they'll want to expand it. People are talking about a phase 2 in Corpus Christi or possibly even in Nevada. But again, nothing from the company. Now, what about this cost savings thing? Well, we get the raw lithium for places like Australia, but Australia doesn't do any refining. So they mine it. They send it up to China. So you get the shipping from Australia to China. Then in China, they refine it. And then they put it on a ship and they ship it over to the United States. So you got all this, moving those atoms around, as Elon likes to talk about. So when you talk about something in a factory, what is my cost? I want to know the landed cost for me in a vertical situation. What's my landed cost before I start using it for the next step? So in this case, what am I landing that in Texas, in Austin, at the factory? How much is it costing me on the floor compared to what it would cost me to get the Chinese product or some other product? If looking around the world, Everybody's out there. What is the savings? Okay. So according to all the sources, it's about 60% savings compared to, now this counts everything. Okay. So you got to count, you got the raw material cost, you got the processing cost, you've got the transportation costs, and you've got the savings in terms of the profit for the refining company. When that's all combined together, it's about a 60% savings for Tesla. That includes reselling the soda ash, of course. And then you save some money because you have hazardous waste that you have to dispose of. There's so many different things. So you have all these savings. What it boils down to is about $500 million a year savings for Tesla. Now, what does that 500 million mean? We say, well, that sounds like a rounding error for Tesla. Well, no, it's not a rounding error. You have to make about 100,000 cars to have that much gross profit. So this is a significant amount. This is a significant factory, and it's a really big and cool looking factory as well. Anyway, if you haven't done it yet, hit subscribe. And more important than hitting subscribe, remember now, my new political show starts tomorrow. Okay, if you want to see the first one, you need to sign up. You can sign up here, right up above, or somehow on your YouTube. You can sign up for become a member of YouTube. That's all arranged, ready to go. You can just go right over to down to my description. It'll tell you exactly what to do if you want to sign up for Patreon. And quite frankly, that's probably my first choice. Although I don't know, maybe signing up as a subscriber on X would be just as good. So if you're a regular on X and you've already subscribing maybe to other people, just jump over there and subscribe. So those are the three ways you can do it. Later today, we will have our regular, it won't be exactly a regular Sunday night show because guess what? There's no stock market tomorrow, but we will have two more shows today. So while you're watching the game, you can put it on mute and listen to more of me. I mean, why wouldn't you want to do that? All right, that's all I got right. Oh, wait. Oh, no. Last night or yesterday, we had amazing shows. I mean, holy mackerel, amazing shows. So you've got Larry Goldberg in the morning, and we took a look at an analysis that was done on, my memory. I'm telling you, boy, I can't even remember what I did yesterday. Now I do, 3 shows a day, so sometimes it's a little bit hard. But we did an analysis on something very important. So there's the card. I'm not going to sit here and try to remember. Anyway, and then later in the morning, I did Phil Beisel, and Phil came in and talked about the way that we are taking advantage of the new AI chips and whatnot, AI 5, AI 6, etc. Very, very interesting show. So I'll put both cards up. I know, did I blush over my memory lapse? Possibly. It's been great talking to you.